Slenderman. In 2009, a user named Eric Knudsen, posting under the pseudonym Victor Surge on the Something Awful forums, digitally inserted a tall, faceless figure into two black and white photographs for a Photoshop contest, along with short captions describing missing children. This single post birthed the legend of Slenderman. He is commonly depicted as an unnaturally thin figure wearing a black suit, standing at a distance partially hidden in the background of forests or empty suburban areas. As the story circulated across internet forums and early social media platforms, a collective community of writers and creators began contributing additional sightings, fan-made images, and lore. Eventually, consistent traits were attached to the character, including electronic interference, memory loss, and a persistent feeling of being watched. Over time, the repetition of these specific details across thousands of independent posts made the legend feel increasingly real to young online audiences, transforming a simple digital art project into a massive, crowdsourced modern myth. Siren Head. In 2018, Canadian horror artist Trevor Henderson created a new icon of digital dread with a single piece of found-footage-style artwork, Siren Head. The creature is described as a 40-foot-tall, emaciated skeletal colossus whose flesh resembles rusted metal, with two military-grade air raid sirens standing in place of a head. Siren Head typically stalks deep woods, mist-covered highways, and desolate rural areas, blending in perfectly with telephone poles and dead trees. What made the entity deeply unsettling to a younger generation was its method of hunting. Instead of standard monster noises, it broadcasts emergency alerts, white noise, military broadcasts, and the distorted looping voices of a victim's loved ones to lure people into the dark. Through viral TikTok animations, fan-made horror mods, and low-quality video edits, the story spread rapidly. Siren Head successfully weaponized the comforting sounds of human civilization, like a distant storm horn or a town emergency broadcast, and transformed them into a terrifying signal that a massive, predatory entity was close by, waiting in the fog. Five Nights at Freddy's. In 2014, an indie game developer named Scott Cawthon released a survival horror game called Five Nights at Freddy's. The game took innocent, nostalgic childhood memories of animatronic pizza parlors like Chuck E. Cheese and turned them into absolute nightmare fuel. Players took on the role of a night security guard at a rundown establishment called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, tasked with monitoring security cameras while possessed. Child-stuffed animatronics like Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica wandered the halls. Each night followed a similar, agonizingly tense structure. Players had a limited supply of electrical power to manage security doors and lights, while the mechanical characters twitched in the dark, building up to sudden, ear-piercing jump scares if they breached the office. The contrast between childhood nostalgia and graphic mechanical terror became the defining feature of the franchise. Because the game was highly unpredictable and terrifying to play firsthand, it birthed a massive cultural phenomenon on YouTube. Millions of younger viewers who were too scared to play the game watched Let's Plays through their fingers, cementing these animatronics as legendary neighborhood monsters that kept a generation awake at night. Momo. In 2018, an image of a grotesque bird-legged woman with bulging eyes and a stretched, demonic grin went viral across social media under the name Momo. Almost overnight, a massive global media panic swept through schools and news outlets, creating what became known as the Momo Challenge. Rumors and viral warning posts claimed that this entity was actively hijacking children's YouTube videos, cutting into popular cartoon episodes to deliver malicious, dangerous instructions to young viewers. Parents around the world were urged to delete video apps and monitor their children's screens immediately, as screenshots and low-quality clips circulated as supposed proof. However, subsequent investigations by security researchers and technology journalists revealed that the entire phenomenon was a total hoax. There were no hacked videos or targeted challenges. The unsettling image was actually a photograph of a physical sculpture titled Mother Bird, created by a Japanese special effects company called Link Factory for an art gallery. The Momo phenomenon became a classic example of internet telephone and modern folklore, proving that when surreal imagery aligns with fears about digital safety, adults can become just as panicked and vulnerable to internet myths as children. 99 Nights in a Forest. During the golden era of early internet culture and indie game development, A specific breed of myth began to take shape surrounding lost media and forbidden internet files. One of the most prominent legends from this era spoke of a supposedly cursed, impossible-to-find survival simulation game titled 99 Nights in a Forest. According to obscure forum threads and word-of-mouth playground rumors, players were dropped into an oppressive, pitch-black digital forest with nothing but a pixelated flashlight beam. The objective was simple but agonizingly difficult. Survive 99 consecutive, repetitive nights while being tracked by an unseen, glitched entity hidden in the code. What made this story uniquely traumatizing to young internet users was its elusive nature. You couldn't find a download link on a trusted storefront, making it feel like forbidden knowledge. Rumors claimed that downloading the file from old sketchy Flash websites would cause permanent electronic interference or track the user outside of the game. It tapped perfectly into a specific childhood fear of the early web, that the internet was an untamed wilderness, and that you might accidentally uncover something dark that was never meant to be found. Herobrine. In 2010, while Minecraft was still in its alpha stage, an anonymous forum post claimed that a strange figure had appeared in a single-player world. The character looked exactly like the default player model, Steve, but with completely blank white eyes and was called Herobrine. Though the original post was quickly removed, it sparked massive online speculation. Soon, screenshots and YouTube videos began circulating across the community, showing a distant figure standing in the game's fog, strange occurrences, and mysterious text messages left for the player. Some players demonstrated methods to summon the entity using specific arrangements of blocks, calling it the Herobrine totem. Although many players tried to construct the totem and reported that it did not work, others claimed Herobrine was actively altering their game worlds by creating unnatural structures such as ocean pyramids, leafless trees, and long tunnels carved through mountains. As the story spread through 2010 and 2011, popular rumors claimed that Herobrine was actually the ghost of the deceased brother of Minecraft's creator Notch. Despite a total lack of supporting evidence, the theory spread rapidly. Notch eventually addressed the rumors directly on Twitter, clarifying that he had no brother and that Herobrine was never part of the game. Yet, the legend grew so large that Mojang began including the line, "removed Herobrine," in official patch notes as a joke, which players widely interpreted as playful confirmation of the entity's legacy.